About 5 to 6 years ago, I downsized my luxury collection quite heavily. But recently, I've been accumulating bags at a fast pace for various reasons I'll be talking about later. But how many bags do we actually need to be happy? Years ago, I was obsessed with buying designer bags. My collection wasn't the most impressive, like what you might see on social media, but it was way more than I could practically use. At one point, I had about 20 luxury bags, most of which were Louis Vuitton and Chanel. During that time, I was also working a lot, and I'm talking about 6 days a week. So to be honest, I didn't have much personal time to dress up and put my nice handbags to use. I'm not kidding, but I actually forgot I had a certain Chanel handbag. It was a seasonal flat bag in a beige color, which I kind of bought on impulse, but later I found the color a little too dark and I wasn't sure how to style it. So what did I do? I just put it in the back of my closet and never reached for it again. Now, buying a Chanel bag wasn't and still isn't a small change for me. But for years, I never questioned if I really needed more and more. Back then, minimalism wasn't trending yet. In fact, a lot of people were constantly expanding their bag collection on social media. So I thought I should do the same. When this Chanel bag incident happened, I had a feeling that something wasn't quite right, but I still didn't change my way. But fortunately, I soon came across the concept of minimalism, and it was so eye-opening to say the least. In fact, I started to see everything with a completely different lens. Soon, the new chapter of my life began. I went through a decluttering phase where I sold about 40% of my luxury collection. With everything I let go of, I was quite decisive because I was so ready to make a change. It was a bit heartbreaking to lose out on so much money from the sales, but at the same time, it felt so liberating to finally be honest with myself. During that time, I also heavily cut down on my spending. To my own surprise, I didn't feel deprived. If anything, it was refreshing to know that I don't have to rely on shopping for my happiness. Anyway, after the heavy downsizing, my luxury handbag collection consisted of 10 bags and 1 clutch bag, and it stayed that way for a number of years. I didn't buy any designer bags for about 4 years, and I haven't sold anything since. Honestly, it feels amazing to have a stable and curated collection that I enjoy, and also to not have to go through the selling process again and again. Now, a collection like this can either be unexciting or extensive, depending on who you are. But for me, it was still more than I needed. But I made a conscious decision to keep certain pieces because I know going forward, I'm not planning to buy designer bags like I did. Besides, certain pieces are either constantly going up in prices, like the Chanel Classic Flap, or they are hard to purchase, like the Hermes Kelly 28. So what I'm saying is, I can do with less, but I made a very intentional decision to have a little more in case if I have a change of mind. Now, because I have a small YouTube channel, I do sometimes receive bags. Typically, these brands don't offer sponsorships or commissions. In fact, they don't even ask for a review video. So there's really no obligation to feature these bags. For a long time, I always said no to these kind of offers because I didn't feel like I needed more bags. However, my mentality changed in the last 18 months or so. A while ago, I decided to try out a bag from Ateliers Auguste, and I really enjoy it. I ended up doing a review video about the bag, even though nobody asked me to. But as it turns out, a lot of you also enjoy the bag and appreciate the lower price range. This made me think, perhaps I could accept these pieces with the intention to provide honest information rather than to expand my own collection. In my last video, I reviewed 6 handbags, and they are all from mid-range luxury brands. Now, do I need so many bags on top of my own bag collection? Not really, but having these pieces in hand and actually putting them to use means I can do very thorough reviews, which can be helpful for people who are either trying to build a collection, beginning a new life chapter, or looking for pieces at a certain price range. To give you some context, I used to think I would love the DeMellier London Montreal because visually it looks so adorable, but after trying it out, I decided this is not the most practical bag and I cannot see myself using it that much. In contrast, I never used to like shoulder bags that much, but I've been really enjoying this one from Ateliers Auguste. So my point is, if you watch these kind of review videos, I hope you get insightful information rather than the temptation to endlessly expand your bag collection. Now, if you're trying to build a bag collection and your main focus is practicality and value for money, I feel like there are certain bags you can very much do without. These bags are not completely pointless, but they're just not that essential. For example, a clutch bag. As much as I enjoy my Saint Laurent clutch bag, I only bought this when I already had a collection of luxury handbags. This one, to be honest, is very practical because it can fit a lot, including my phone, my Kindle e-reader, and other daily products. But do I use it all the time? Not really. A clutch bag is something I only use when I have a very relaxing schedule and I know I don't have to rush here and there. For example, if I'm going out for a nice meal. But even then, technically, I could use my other bags and it will still work. Another element a lot of people can do without is a belt bag. Now, I never used to think I would like the looks of a belt bag anyway, but this one from Ateliers Auguste took me by surprise. I think it looks super stylish and chic, and I love how easy it is to get my things. That said, if you only want a very curated wardrobe, a belt bag is not that essential, especially if you already have a crossbody bag that you're quite happy with. I also want to address the fact that just because you enjoy luxury handbags, it doesn't mean all your bags have to be designers. I feel like when you have a social media presence or if you own certain luxury items, there's this expectation that you're likely to go for designer brands for everything you wear. I'm not sure about other people in this community, but I personally did feel the pressure to upkeep a certain image, especially when I first started this channel. There was a time where I thought, well, you have Birkin, so you really should also have a designer work bag, belt bag, beach bag, suitcase, and everything else. In fact, someone told me they even considered upgrading their car because they now had a Birkin. This is why I really wanted to highlight this, which is only you get to decide how to spend your money. I'm really thankful that I eventually listened to myself because otherwise my luxury handbag collection would be quite overwhelming right now and I might also be in a very different financial position. So to give you some context, even though I enjoy luxury bags, I also happily carry high street pieces. And you know what? I think they are appropriate and necessary for certain occasions. I don't know about you, but I am more protective about my designer bags than my high street pieces simply because they cost way more. I'll also be a bit upset if my designer bag goes missing, even if I know I'll be able to recover the cost through insurance. With all that in mind, if I'm going to the beach, personally, I'll not carry a designer bag because I know there will be times when I have to leave the bag unattended. Not to mention, the bag might also get wet and stained. So on those occasions, I'll much rather carry my $20 Uniqlo crossbody bag. I think it actually looks really adorable, plus it's practical, worry-free, and so easy to carry, which is why I keep featuring it in my videos. So I think it's time to normalize the fact that not all of us want to carry designer bags everywhere, and that is okay. Do what feels true and comfortable to you, and if anyone judges you, that really doesn't matter. I think if you can do that, you'll be a lot happier with your bag collection because it reflects who you are rather than who you think you should be. I also want to touch on the aspect of money because our bag collection is essentially traded with our hard-earned money. I'm a firm believer that if you spend beyond your means, you will not enjoy your bags no matter how impressive your bag collection might look to other people. The simple truth is, we all know luxury bags are discretionary items. These are the expensive things we don't need to have, we just choose to. From my personal experience, I will only be able to enjoy a luxury bag if I know I have taken care of my other, more important financial commitments first. This means I'll much rather have 3 bags but be in a healthy financial position rather than owning 20 limited edition bags but having to worry about losing my job on a daily basis. So how many designer handbags do you really need to be happy? I think you get the idea by now that only you can answer that question. After all, only you know your lifestyle, income, preferences, and future plans. For people who have no interest in luxury bags, the answer is obviously zero. Personally, I enjoy them, but truthfully, if things change in the future, I'll be quite happy to downsize again and move on. In fact, I always envision maybe one day moving abroad, and if I have less space than I do now, I'll be quite ready to adjust accordingly. The way I see it, it is very possible to enjoy nice things without feeling completely attached to them. What about you? What is the perfect number of handbags for you? Do you think you have too many or too little? Please let me know down below. Thank you so much for being here. Take care and I will see you soon.